some good matches. You all agree? I think it was good for wrestling. I think there was a lot of good stuff there. Obviously, we got to figure out how to win this. We've been knocking on the door for a long time, and we haven't broke the door down yet. But I just told our team in here that I'm really proud of the effort we had at a lot of weights. We talk a lot about effort. I mean, in the 7 years that I've been at Iowa State now, that's the best Iowa team that we faced by far. So credit to Coach Brands, the donor base. I mean, that's the world we live in. So let's just say it, all right? Congratulations to all of the people involved in the program, because they have put together a heck of a team right there. I mean, you look at some of the guys on that team that are kind of newcomers. Those dudes can wrestle. It's really fun to watch. Caliendo guy, it's really fun to watch. Buchanan, Teamer, obviously he got hurt, but he's a guy that's super dynamic. Parco, I mean, I could go on and on. This young kid, this Ferrari kid, man, Drake Ayala sucked it up. I thought that was a great match. So there's some talented dudes there. There's some really talented dudes there. And like I said, I think we did a good job in competing. Our team's going to look a lot different here as we kind of get some guys back in the lineup. Not having a Terrakeen and not having a Gaitan and not having a Chittum. And I don't know how much of a factor they would have been tonight. I thought Younger did a good job. He hasn't really wrestled a match since, that bad Friday he had at the NCAA tournament. So to come out here in this atmosphere and wrestle a young buck like Keeter, who's also going to be really good, was great for him. So overall, you know what? It's a place for me as a coach. I really sat there and I was more of an evaluator than anything. I really took that role tonight. I'm like, okay, how are you going to calm down, Dresser? All right, because it's easy to get caught up in this crazy shit here. How are you going to calm down? I said, you know what? I'm just going to be an evaluator. I'm going to evaluate all night long and see where we're at. And I think our team was, we passed some places and we didn't pass some places. But I got such a great feel sitting there for 2 hours and where we are as a team. So I really like this team, this Iowa State team, and I think as we get further down the road, if we can do our job coaching, we're gonna like that.
Speaking of evaluating, what did you see out of Connor Uten tonight against Michael Caliendo?
He's pretty good. That was a good match. He dinged up his knee pretty good there, and he had to suck it up there. So I'm guessing we're probably going to be sitting for a while. So we haven't had a lot of great luck with injuries early in the year, and so we need to figure that out if you can figure that out. But this Connor Uten guy, Caliendo. He might be one of the most impressive guys to me. Like, he fires it off. He gets the legs so well, like a leg attack so well. And obviously Uten's got really heavy hips, and when Uten got to him a couple times, he took him down. So I thought it was a great match, but at the end, Caliendo out-toughed him.
Are you expecting Uten to miss time then?
I don't know.
Okay.
They don't call me a doctor, but my trainer will tell me. But I'm guessing Connor Uten's not the kind of guy that's going to jump around and take a timeout unless he's really hurt. So he probably dinged that up a little bit. You keep your fingers crossed every time they go to that MRI doctor. It's anywhere from a mild sprain to an ACL, so that's the spectrum we're looking at.
What are some of your thoughts on Pinero's matchup?
We never really got to see that match. I would like to see that match, finish out. Nobody wants anybody to get injured, and it was a kind of a crazy dual meet. There was some things that went, that was definitely part of the crazy thing. Ichimandia's match. I mean, we get the only takedown and we lose because of just two, dumb things where we locked our hand and then we jumped up, and both of them were really questionable, but they reviewed them and the referees reviewed both of them, and we lost both reviews. So I stand by what the referees reviewed. So I'm not going to whine and cry about it, but I think a lot of people could say that we out-wrestled them. We made some technical mistakes. I mean, locking hands, but we out-wrestled them.
Kevin, this series, obviously you guys have lost 20 straight, but you know this series better than anybody. Would you like to ever see this go back to a home-and-home like it used to?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, they won't, but we'd love to.
It seemed like Iowa really flipped the script at 174 with Riggins and Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy's high-powered, and Riggins has got to figure it out a little bit. I mean, this is a confidence issue sport, and he started out with a really good guy against Stanford and lost a tough match, and then he lost a really tough match against Navy. And sometimes it's like being a baseball player when you go 0 for 21, but you're still a pretty good hitter. You got to figure it out, and he's got to figure it out.
You guys, as you mentioned, have been working through this lineup and trying to figure it out. One of the things you said earlier in the season was potentially looking at redshirting Cody, but we saw him weigh in today. So I guess what's kind of that process looking like as he weighed in?
We have some moves left to make, we think. So I'll leave it at that.
Were you surprised Ferrari came out?
I was surprised he came out. Yeah, I was. I knew he was good. He's a little better than I thought he was. Yeah, he's good. We didn't do our effort was great, but we didn't do enough. And maybe I should back up. Our effort wasn't good enough at 184. We stood around, you know, and you don't stand around against a guy like that. You got to move him.
Was there any point in Christian Carroll's matchup where you knew that things were starting to head south?
Yeah, when he got ridden for the whole second period, I figured that wasn't good. So.
You mentioned evaluating, just wanting to sit back and learn. So what did you kind of learn overall from your team, or kind of some of the bigger takeaways that you learned?
I think it's different at every weight. You know, I know Christian Carroll's super talented, but, you know, we kind of see that out in the room a little bit. He's a freshman. So there's some pretty good guys that he gets to train with, you know, Marcus Coleman, younger Bastida, David Carr. So he grabs some pretty good guys, and that's kind of what I see sometimes is, you know, he kind of puts his head down and he's got to figure out the bottom. I'm not throwing him under the bus. I told him the same thing in the locker room is once he gets some consistency in the practice room, because there's moments in the practice room like you see out here where you're like, whoa, you know, and just kind of falling asleep with 3 seconds to go. That crafty Buchanan got him with 3 seconds to go in the first period. And again, when you're looking at the clock, that's a freshman mistake.
Talking about freshman, Meza won at 125. Can you talk about what you saw from him?
Good effort. Yeah, tough little Arizona kid. True freshman. Yep. Good freshman in the meet today.
What was your takeaway from Ayala Frost, and did it surprise you at all that Ayala?
What a great, it was a great match. You know, I think we just got to get, you know, we're obviously cutting some weight there. And I felt like the last minute, he was tired and we were tired, but we don't need it. We shouldn't be tired then, right? Because he got it done when he was tired, but both guys were tired. So we got to figure out, because usually when Frosty gets his weight under control, and he's doing a better job of it. But when he gets it dialed in, really dialed in, he's a 7-minute guy, you know. And I think he just needed a little bit more oomph there in the third period. But you know, I think Drake Ayala's a great wrestler. You know, you're not NCAA runner-up for nothing.
So what is your main message to your team after today?
It's got to go back to work. You know, you get to evaluate all those, and everybody's got different things we get to work on. But when you go to a big-time environment and you wrestle a number 2 ranked team in the nation, you get exposed, and that's what we need right now. We really needed this. So the timing of this dual meet was great for us. And so I told him, I said, when you show back up Monday, I always know how serious guys are when you give them a day off and you just come down from a little bit of a letdown from a big dual meet like this. I always say, you know, you'll show me if you really want to be a podium guy on how you come back after a loss and how you come back after a day off. You know, what do you look like? What do you weigh? What do you smell like? You know, are you ready to get back to work? And so that's what we got to do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.